Something has been bothering me for the last week, and it has to do with Genshin Impact. The Genshin fandom has been on fire for the past week or so. Gasp! In other words, water is wet! Long story short, during the live stream for the Lunar New Year update, the developers said that they will be giving away 3 summons as a thank you for 3 years of throwing your daughter's college fund into the gaping maw that is Mona's beautiful ass! And some Genshin fans weren't happy. Oh, bless their hearts. Here's the thing. Genshin fans, I need you to understand something. The developers are stingy assholes who for the past 3 years have treated you as brain-dead, moronic cash cows. Time after time, they have categorically refused to give you the updates you deserve. Better rewards, quality of life updates, 5-star selectors, more skins, fixing the fucking artifact system. But they never did. Why? Simple. They are right about you. And now is the part of the video where I really piss off Genshin fans. Again, you are partially to blame for all of this. Well, most of you anyways. This is not a situation of an angelic fanbase being mistreated by a demonic development team. I've seen some Genshin YouTubers and streamers talk about the many problems with the developers, so I'm not going to talk about that entire aspect. But I haven't really seen anybody talk about the role the player base has in this entire situation, so I do want to share my thoughts about that. Tell me, for the past 3 years, every single time someone dared criticize Genshin, constructive or otherwise, what happened? Ding ding ding! 5 quadrillion points to Slytherin! The person criticizing would get attacked. A tsunami of insults and threats crashing against the blasphemer. If they were really lucky, they would even get doxxed. Hell, this hatred would sometimes be targeted at innocent people, like artists and shippers, because apparently Yaimiko and Ayato holding hands and maybe kissing is too much. It's so bad that it warrants death threats. That's an actual thing that happened, by the way. A very large vocal part of the Genshin fandom would defend the game to their dying breath. Fans would actively try their damnedest to stop Genshin from improving. If anybody even mentioned the words 5-star selector or more summons or better rewards, what would these people do? Oh, you're just being greedy. You're asking for too much. This is a free game. You should just be grateful. mihoyo doesn't owe you anything. You're stupid. You're a moron. I'm going to dox you. You should kill yourself. But why? Why would they do this? Why are you asking me? I don't fucking know. It doesn't make any sense. The sad reality is that Genshin never needed to improve for 3 years because these brain-dead, moronic bootlickers would defend every decision the developers made. And with the same breath drop $1,000 on their 5th version of Gene. Even now, as we speak, people are still defending the developers. Meanwhile, China players are threatening to boycott. Good! A boycott should have happened years ago! But hey, you know what they say, better late than never. Except it probably is too late. Even if the boycott goes through, it won't change anything, for a couple of reasons. Not only will the bootlickers keep dropping cold hard cash, but so will the casual audience, because your average consumer doesn't care. Hell, they don't even know that they're being mistreated. Your casual audience just logs in, does their daily, maybe grind out a couple of artifacts, and then do like a side quest or story quest or whatever, and then call it a day. And with the power of these 2 giants combined, Genshin will never need to change because they're still going to make an insane amount of money. A disgusting amount of money. Did you know Genshin Impact makes $1 billion every 6 months? And where do you think most of that money comes from? That's right, the casual audience and the bootlickers. But what about the boycott itself? Why am I saying that the boycott itself won't work? Simple. The Genshin Impact fandom does not have the willpower necessary to make a successful boycott. What do I mean by this? Well, in order to make a boycott work, you need to do it for a long time. Not a week, not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks, hell, not even a month. Multiple months, hell, a year of not playing the game, of not spending money, of not doing anything with the game. Tell me, do you honestly think the Genshin Impact fanbase has the willpower necessary to not log into the game? To not spend money on the game? Maybe for a week, maybe for 2 weeks. Hell, there might be a couple of soldiers that can last a month, but all of them are going to break down. They won't even last 1 update, let's be honest. And if you really want to cause actual harm to Genshin Impact, enough to make the developers realize that you will not accept this any longer, you need to go multiple updates without spending money, without even logging into the game. Not only that, there needs to be a lot of you. A big portion of the player base needs to participate in the boycott. And once again, do you honestly think your average player, your average consumer, and bootlicker are going to participate? No, they're not. You also need strong leaders to centralize around. Leaders to keep the boycott on track, to remind you why you're even doing this to begin with. And who's going to be your leader? Tectone? That fucking moron? He's not going to do shit. He's going to make a couple of videos for like a week, and then he's going to stop when Wuthering Waves comes out. And then he's going to make shitty content about Wuthering Waves. And do you honestly think your average Genshin Impact content creator is going to have the willpower necessary to not make videos about this game, to not spend money on this game, when their entire livelihood is centralized around Genshin? Again, they might make a couple of videos for a week or two, but they're going to stop. And they're going to keep playing the game. Hell, most of them are already doing that. A couple of Genshin YouTubers made videos about the boycott, quote unquote, about the problem with Genshin, and are already making guides for the newest character. They already gave up. Do you honestly think a boycott is going to work? No, it's not. Genshin Impact players do not have the willpower necessary to do this. The willpower necessary to actually make something like this actually work in the long term. You need long-term damage, and that's just not gonna happen. The only thing that can actually cause any real change for Genshin is true competition in other video games. Allow me to explain. First of all, Tower Fantasy is not a competitor. That was like a thing floating around for a while when Tower Fantasy first released. Oh, this is gonna be the Genshin killer or whatever other nonsense. Tower Fantasy was never going to cause any harm for Genshin. Not because it's a bad game or anything, it's because it's too different of a genre. Yes, they both have action gameplay and are both gacha games, but Tower Fantasy is an MMO with gacha elements. It's too different of a genre for it to cause any actual harm to Genshin. So let me just get that right out of the way. But what about actual real competition? Well, obviously we have the upcoming Wuthering Waves, and that's definitely going to do some damage to Genshin, but no, Wuthering Waves is not some quote-unquote Genshin killer. God, I hate that phrase. It's so stupid. The Genshin killer does not exist, alright? That is not a real thing. There's no magical game that's going to release and kill Genshin. Do you know what the actual Genshin killer is? Multiple competitors. Wuthering Waves, Project Mugen, that one 7 Deadly Sins game that got announced a couple years ago and then completely disappeared. And obviously a bunch of other projects that are definitely being worked on but just haven't been announced yet. You need multiple high quality true competitors in order to actually cause real change for Genshin. Because once other games that are similar to Genshin, open world, exploration, story focused, action combat games start releasing, that's when you're going to see real change. When players who play Genshin are going to be tired of this nonsense and be like, oh, Wuthering Waves is Genshin, but with better rewards and better combat. Why am I playing Genshin and not that? Oh, Project Mugen has better traversal mechanics. Why am I not playing that? 7 Deadly Sins exist, I guess. I don't know. Multiple high quality competitors. That is the Genshin killer, and that is the only thing that can actually cause any form of long-lasting permanent change. Your boycott is not going to work. All right, just accept that. At best, the Genshin devs are going to give you a couple of random rewards through the mail and call it a day, because that's exactly what happened during the 1-year anniversary. Anybody remember that? When there was this giant outcry, this giant backlash, and the Google Play Store got downvoted, review bombed, I mean, that was crazy. What happened? Well, you gave you some rewards in the mail system and you immediately caved. People were talking about how the anniversary rewards were unacceptable, we must demand better, and then mihoyo placated you with 10 summons, wings, and then some items for the stupid teapot system. And you immediately gave up. So once again, do you honestly think a boycott is going to work? Now, by this point, you probably noticed that I'm like weirdly passionate about this whole thing. If you'll have me, I would like to tell you guys a story. I used to have a channel before my current one. Before I went by Blank Page, or Page for short, I had a different name that I won't tell you because I simply do not want to be associated with that channel anymore. In that channel, I did a variety of videos, basically whatever I wanted, until I heard about an upcoming game called Genshin Impact. At this point, I already played gacha games. I started playing them in like 2012, 2011, something like that. My memory of my earlier days is very hazy, so I don't remember exactly when I first started playing gacha games. But I would have been around 12 years old, 11 years old, something like that. Anybody remember Brave Frontier? Now that's a classic. So when I heard about this open world action gacha game, I was intrigued. That was a brand new type of gacha game, and I was like, okay, I'm interested. I want to see what this is exactly. And so Genshin Impact eventually released, and I just started playing the game, and eventually I started making videos about it. At first, I made very positive videos of me just playing the game or whatever nonsense. But eventually, slowly over the first couple of months, my feelings of the game started to shift, started to change. I started to notice cracks in Genshin. I noticed that the rewards weren't that great. I noticed that the gameplay really wasn't that deep and got kind of boring very fast. The artifact system is... Jesus Christ. I'm not going to go into that whole thing because we would be here all day. But like I said, I basically noticed a lot of problems with the game. So I decided to basically become a channel that would offer constructive criticism. I would make videos kind of suggesting ways for Genshin to improve, you know, like how they could fix the stamina system, how they could improve artifacts, how they could improve the reward systems. But it wasn't all negative. I would also praise the game when I thought it was necessary to praise the game. When they made good decisions, I would say, good job, mihoyo, you should keep going in this direction. But if they made bad decisions, I would reprimand them. I'd be like, hey, this is a bad thing. Don't do this again. You know, and I would give constructive criticism. And when people watched those videos, what do you think they said to me? You're an idiot. You're a moron. You don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid. Shut the fuck up. You're greedy. You don't deserve anything. It's a free game. Clown. Fuck you. Piece of shit. Delete the channel. Stop making shitty videos. We don't care. Nobody cares. Stop talking. And of course, an oldie but a goldie, a true classic. Kill your self. And trust me, there's more. There was a lot of things that people said to me. And the whole thing made me really, really sad. Because at the time, I saw so much potential in Genshin Impact. I thought Genshin had the potential to become one of the greatest games ever created. But eventually, slowly over time, I just realized that things weren't going to get better. Because of the bootlickers and the casual audience that just doesn't care. The people like me who would offer constructive criticism, who would try and make mihoyo listen to us and be like, hey, we really like your game. We think it has a lot of potential. Here's some suggestions on how you can improve. Once we realized that mihoyo was never going to listen to us, we stopped and we left. Most of us, the vast majority of us from the early days who would constantly offer criticism, aren't playing Genshin anymore. For all intents and purposes, we were your strongest soldiers. We were the one constantly fighting, even though people kept harassing us, people kept attacking us because we just wanted Genshin to improve, because we saw potential. We saw what Genshin could be, not what it is. We saw what it could be. When we realized we weren't being heard, and when we realized that we were just going to keep getting attacked, we stopped. We gave up and we moved on. I sure as hell did. Eventually, I did come back when the Fontaine update came out because I kept hearing rumblings about how, oh, this is an amazing update. It's so good. Genshin has never been better. I was like, oh, really? Did they finally fix Genshin? I re-downloaded the game. I played Fontaine. I eventually summoned for Furina. I got her and her weapon somehow. I don't know how. It was kind of cool. And I was like, oh, Genshin is literally the exact same. Nothing has changed. What are you people talking about? Like, sure, the main story quest with Furina was cool. I liked it. I liked Furina as a character. She's easily the best character Genshin Impact has ever had. But the actual game is the exact same. Nothing has changed. The rewards are still shitty, and the fan base is also just as shitty. In case you're wondering why I deleted my original channel, I guess I just wanted a fresh start. For so long, I was this like weird, small little channel that not a lot of people paid attention to, but I was sort of known to some degree. And I guess once I just gave up on Genshin, I decided, you know what? I want a completely fresh start. I want a brand new start, so I made a new channel. And currently, the channel has been growing a lot. Ever since I started covering Snowbreak back in October, September? I don't remember when it was. It was a couple months ago. The channel has been growing, you know? It's pretty cool. I'm excited for the future. Wuthering Waves, my continual coverage of Snowbreak, and eventually Wuthering Waves when that comes out, and eventually Project Mugen when that comes out. Because I do play, I'm interested in Project Mugen. Who knows if that game's gonna be good? But it looks cool. I like the traversal mechanics that we've seen of it. Why did I make this video? You might be asking. For the entirety of this, I've mainly just kind of been shitting on the Genshin fanbase. Well, simple. I think it's funny. I think this whole situation is fucking hilarious. All of a sudden, after 3 years, the Genshin Impact fanbase wants to try and gather together to improve rewards. Motherfuckers, you're the same people who were defending mihoyo for 3 years and telling us, the actual people who have been here from the beginning, trying to improve, that we were being greedy. We were asking for too much. But now, all of a sudden, you want to act like you're innocent and you want to act like you deserve better. Sorry to say, but this is the bed you made. Now you better fucking lie on it. But at the same time, I hope the boycott goes well. You know, I hope I'm wrong and you guys do have the willpower necessary to actually make a successful boycott. Because a lot of people play Genshin Impact. And, you know, for as much as I fucking hate you guys, you deserve a better game. Genshin Impact, the most successful gacha game to ever exist, deserves to be better. And the people who play it deserve better treatment. So while, yes, I despise your very existence, I hope it goes well. I hope you do get better rewards. I hope the developers wake up and realize that they're not unkillable. It won't be Wuthering Waves that does it. Hell, it won't be Project Mugen that does it. But slowly over time, these competitors, these true competitors, are going to start coming out. And Genshin is going to start bleeding players. It's going to happen. Genshin Impact has 2 paths they can walk. Path number 1, keep doing what they're doing and eventually die a slow, painful, agonizing death. Or they can walk the second path and actually start improving the game. Better rewards, more cosmetics, fixed artifact system, quality of life, etc, etc, etc. I truly do hope they choose the second path. Because you do deserve better. Even if I hate you guys. Also, I've been using like secret words for my last like 2 videos and they've done surprisingly well. Like people use them. So I guess I'll use it again, you know, why not? The secret word for today's video is Mona. Just Mona. She's my favorite Genshin character. Actually, fun story about Mona. Mona was the character that I wanted the most when I first started playing Genshin Impact. Like I was there day one. I was playing since like the beginning of the game, and I wanted Mona the most. And to this day, I still never got a single copy of Mona. After like what, 3 years, 4 years, however long it's been, never got a single copy of Mona, which is crazy. If you ever wanted to know how bad Genshin Impact's gacha system is, there you go. 3 years, never got a single Mona. And she's a permanent standard banner character. Anyways, yeah. Secret word, Mona. Yeah, there you go. Use it if you want. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave a like, dislike, subscribe, or don't. It is up to you, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.